Hey, it's Mazciel, and today I am doing my May TBR. So I have a couple of books to talk about today, and yes, I know that the plant behind me is dying, so please send some positive vibes. It was doing really well, and then all of a sudden this week it's just not been doing so well. So yeah, I know. But anyways, without further ado, I'm going to get started with the books that I want to read this month. So the first book that I want to read is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. And this is a YA fiction, and it follows Eliza, who is really popular online for creating the webcomic called Monstrous Sea. But in real life, she doesn't really have that many friends, and I think she feels like she doesn't really fit in. And then one day, this one guy shows up at her school, and it turns out that he is a really popular fan fiction writer for her webcomic Monstrous Sea. And she knows who he is, he doesn't know who she is, and I think they become friends. And then one day her secret comes out, and I think people find out who she is, and that causes a lot of problems. I've heard a lot of people say that this has a really great representation of anxiety, and I find that really interesting. I haven't read a lot of books that have main characters with anxiety or other mental health problems, and I think that mental health is such an important topic to discuss, so I am really looking forward to reading this, and I will definitely let you guys know what I think about this book. Next, I have All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, and this is a historical fiction that takes place during World War II. I've heard so many people say a lot of really great things about this, and when I first saw it and I read the description, it really reminded me of The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, and that book was so good. It had me thinking about it for days after I finished reading it. It was such an emotional read, so I think I will really enjoy this one. This follows two characters. The first one is a French girl named Marie, who at the age of 6 goes blind, and she lives in France with her father, and at the age of 12 they have to leave France because the Nazis arrive, and they go to St. Malo. And then it also follows Werner, who at a very young age it became apparent that he had a talent for fixing and building radios, and because of this talent he has to attend the Academy for Hitler Youth, and then later ends up tracking the resistance, which leads him to St. Malo, and I think that's where their stories combine. I don't know if they ever actually meet, or if it's just if it just follows both of their stories separately during this time period. So yeah, I am looking forward to reading this, and I am sure that it is going to be a very emotional read. Next, I have Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, and Laini Taylor is the author of the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. I've never read those books, but I've heard a lot of really great things about them, and this book especially. This is a YA fiction, again, and it follows Laszlo Strange, who is a librarian, and he has always been fascinated and kind of obsessed with the lost city of Weep. And I believe that his adventure kind of begins when an envoy comes from the lost city of Weep, and he kind of joins him, and that's where their adventure begins. And yeah, it just sounds like a very interesting read. I've heard that Laini Taylor's writing is amazing, so I am looking forward to reading this. Next, I have Why We Buy The Science of Shopping by Paco Underhill, and this book was recommended for me to read when I was in college. If you guys didn't know, I have a degree in fashion business, and I find these types of books really interesting. I never had the time to read it when I was in college. I believe I was doing an internship when I got this book, so I never had the time to read it, but now I do, so I'm looking forward to reading it. It's basically just about retail and how the retail industry is changing, what retail companies are doing wrong, what they're doing right, and what they can do to be better. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. If you guys are interested, I will definitely let you guys know what I think of it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. So that is it for this TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would love to have you back, and I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye.